Alrighty, what is going on, guys? Welcome to a new video. Sorry, I haven't posted in a while. There have been quite a lot of stocks that I have done tremendously well, and I wanted to go over them and really talk about why I bought them, why they went up, why some of them went up and then went down, what I think the future is going to look like for them, and also why I haven't posted in a while because I've been doing more market research, I feel like, than posting. So let's start off with number one, Oscar. So I've been talking about the stock for, damn near every single video now. When I first talked about it, at least on Instagram, it was $11. Went up to 21 and then went all the way down to 13.40. I think I bought at 13.50 or 13.40 something. Like right around here is when I rebought again. And then it went all the way up to $20. So it had a essentially $50 or 50% rise in price, which is a lot in 1 month. Like that is very, very, very significant. And I've talked about this a lot in other videos as to why I even invested into it and why I think this company itself is going to be a large grower in the health industry, health insurance industry itself. And right now it's still kind of early, right? Like right now, all these little ups and downs does not really matter. Obviously, if you bought right here, which is when I bought, you would have made a lot of money. Even with a little bit of money, you would have made, 5K on a 10K investment, which in a month is, very, very good in my personal opinion. Obviously, if you work with more capital, that's also great. But why do I think this company has a lot of room to grow? If you look at how many members they have as a whole, as a company, I think it's around like 2.2 million under their insurance, and they continuously are growing and growing and growing. And then if you look at the management team, I think I've talked about this previously before. Josh Kushner, a multi-billionaire, not even off of this, off of investing into companies and helping them grow. And then if you look at the CEO, this guy right here, he was with a previous healthcare company before this one. I'm pretty sure it was this right here. But I don't remember which one it was, but he was with another healthcare company before and helped it grow. But it doesn't really matter. Point is, management's great. The company is simply just has a ton of room to grow in the healthcare industry. And I think one thing a lot of people go back to a lot is this guy right here is simply, with the amount of equity he has in Oscar Health and the investments he's made in the past as a VC, I don't see him personally letting this die, especially when he invested heavily into OpenAI. If you look into when they kicked off Sam Altman as CEO, if you look at what he did in that situation, kind of makes you think he's probably not going to let this company die, especially since he co-founded it like 15 years ago. Where do I think the stock's going to go long term? I think it's probably going to hit $23 in the short term. We'll for sure have dips. People are going to go. It's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. We'll probably hit 23. I could definitely see the stock going down to the $12 mark, $13 mark again. A lot of people that are buying it are kind of just buying it for the hype. They don't really understand it. So when it goes up a bit, they kind of just dump it. But long term, very long term, this is easily going to $40 to $50. And we'll come back to this video once it does, whether that's in a year or later. Number two, Google. I actually bought this stock at 177. So like right here, had a 45% gain. Google as itself, I think a lot of people, the reason why it dropped significantly was because a lot of people were worried about AI, ChatGPT, having a bigger play than Google. But I think people forget that Google is a lot more than just google.com. It's YouTube, where you're watching this video right now. Everyone uses YouTube. ChatGPT or any AI platform is not taking away YouTube. Gemini, I'm pretty sure is what their AI thing is called. is also doing significantly well. And then also, I don't think this is like anything to do with much of the rise of it going up from when I bought it, but a lot of people have been saying Waymo, which is something we'll get into later on in the Tesla stuff. I don't think that has much to do with anything, to be honest with you, because I don't think it's that big of a business for Google. I don't think it's generating that much revenue for Google. But I do think with, most investors' perception, they're going to think to their, in their head, which is what I thought when I bought Tesla. If Waymo does well in, I don't even know if that's how you say it, but if they do well in 10 years or 5 years, and they take over all the self-driving taxi stuff and, wipe Uber off the earth, or Lyft, which I think they actually did a collab with one of those two. But like what's going to happen with the stock? It's going to go up like crazy. So it did significantly well. It actually had a bigger drop, obviously, in April, but I think I got in at a certain decently good time at 177. But overall, Google, massive company. I don't think they're going literally anywhere. The amount of money I spend with Google, whether that's for there's a ton, like my Gmail, my G Suite, like all the the companies that I have, paying them for that. I have YouTube Premium. I have like a ton of stuff that I just feel like Google's not going anywhere. Very stable, solid company. So reason why I put some money into it. UNH, another healthcare company, and I know I've been preaching Oscar, but UNH dipped to 237, which is quite low. I remember my brother was telling me about it, right around like 350-ish maybe. And I was at his house, and he doesn't really invest into anything. But I just ended up not buying because I was like, I feel like it's going to go lower after they off the CEO. And it did. I got in at 300, and then it had a little 17% rise in price, which is actually funny. When I bought in, I had someone that continuously kept hitting me up right when it hit. I think it was like 310 or something. And he was like, oh, this was like a couple of weeks ago. And he was like, oh, did you hear the Feds might be raising the rate? Like, are you going to sell off all your stocks? Which is something I want to tell all you guys. It's like, don't listen to people that text you trying to like fearmonger you into the Fed's going to do this, Trump's going to do that, this and this and that. Like, when I tell you, I've literally blocked so many people, like not blocked, I haven't blocked anyone's number, but just stopped fully responding to people that are like, hey, give me stock picks or give me advice. And I give them it. And then the whole entire time they're holding it. They're like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? I'm like, what if we just all die? Like, what happens? Like, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And so that's a big thing about when you buy a position. Buy it and just sit down and just, excuse my language, but shut the fuck up. Like, do not stop panicking. I feel like people just have way too much panic about everything. And lo and behold, yeah, when he sold right here, it went up another 15%. Same with Google. Right around 200 is when he was like, I'm selling everything, blah, 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 the Fed this, the Fed that. Went up even more. So you really don't know. Like, none of us can sit here and be like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, the market's going to tank because of this, the market's going to tank because if we knew, every single person that was in the market that, used their judgment based off of fear, would make a bunch of money, but that's not the case. So, UNH, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know that much about the company, but what I do know, it was priced relatively low, and when I bought it, I think there are talks of like Warren Buffett adding that to his position, and so In my head, I was like, he did the homework. I don't need to do the homework for UNH. It's a big healthcare company, a lot in revenue, a lot in cash, not a lot of debt. And yeah, I'm just going to hold on to this. This isn't something I'm going to be selling anytime soon. It had a large drop, so there's potentially even room for it to double. Number 4, Robinhood stock. I bought this at 44, right around here. And it went, now it's 124. And this one was honestly a pretty much no-brainer. I didn't buy it as early as everyone else, but this one was pretty much a no-brainer. Robinhood, where majority of people now essentially trade their stocks on. I personally don't. I use Vanguard because I feel like Robinhood is too gamified, and I just feel like I'd sell a lot quicker on Robinhood, just because it's like a casino, right? Like it shows you your winnings, and you're like, oh, I want to pull them out. Now I use Vanguard, and I don't even look at it. It's hard to even sell on Vanguard. You can sell it, but it's like you need to click a bunch of different things. But anyways, this stock went crazy. I think we like tripled or something like that. Very, very well. Reason I bought into it, very simple. Most people use Robinhood. Profit margins very, very high. The CEO itself, I watch a bunch of his interviews. Super, super, super aggressive guy. Like the stuff they're adding onto Robinhood, all the betting stuff, everything as a whole, I think that's simply just going to grow Robinhood's revenue at the end of the day, their earnings. If their earnings go up, like the company stock goes up. It's as simple as that. And I think it still has room to grow as a company. So hopefully we'll see this stock a $200-$300 stock in the future. And this is not to say to buy it, but I think this will do very, very, very well as more people, I feel like, are getting into investing. And even if they don't, once Robinhood starts adding a bunch of other random shit you can bet on, that's just going to make them even more money. But I do feel like Robinhood is somewhat of like a casino gamified platform, and I don't recommend using it if you're holding for the long term, because you will be very, 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 very tempted to take profits and like way early than you should. So keep that in mind if you use Robinhood or you don't. Tesla stock. So I talked about this on Instagram a lot. I bought it exactly at 220, right here, and it went up 92%. This one's pretty simple. Went up because of the new pay package for Elon Musk. Also, similarly to Google, a lot of people are expecting Tesla's earnings to go through the roof with the self-driving car, not the self-driving car, but the taxi for Tesla, and also the robots, which I looked into the robots. It doesn't look like it's the greatest looking robot. It doesn't really look like it's that capable of doing much right now. But one thing you have to keep in mind, though, is people's perception, right? Like, there's a reason why I bought right here, because my perception is that if Tesla comes out with these self-driving taxis, that's going to be very, very, very minimal cost to Tesla, because they're only using, it's electricity, right? It's electric. They can charge people like Uber and Lyft charge people for taxis. You don't need a driver in the car, which I know a lot of people would, to tell you the truth, would prefer that, would rather just get in the car, take it where it needs to go, and get out. And it's probably going to be a lot cheaper. So people's perception that are buying the stock is that once they solidify that in all cities, the earnings are going to go through the roof because a lot of people are going to use it. And Elon Musk also had a pay package. I think back in, they set one up for him. I think it was in like 2017 or something like that. And he ended up doing what he was supposed to do. And then if we go right here, the stock like skyrocketed like up here. So a bunch of people made a ton of money during that time. I think he like hit certain goals or whatever it was for the company. So he did tremendously well for them. He made a bunch of money, which I don't even think they paid him. I think it was like $50 billion. I think someone on the board said we shouldn't pay him, which I think is crazy. I think you absolutely should pay him if he did exactly what you guys needed him to do within the company. Because I don't think anyone else would have done that. I think it would have just been him. But I think this one is like $1 trillion or something like that pay package. So Tesla stock, I think, should continue to rise. One thing about all these stocks, and I know this is kind of a long video, but one thing about all these stocks is that obviously there could be a situation of like a recession, right? There could be a period of downturn like we had in April. However, that was only a month of downturn, if even that. And stocks can drop 60, 70, 100%. So if you're holding on to, let's say, Tesla at 426, it well could go down to 200. It could go down to 150. I know a lot of people that bought it at 450 in 2021. It went all the way down to 113, like a year later. So they lost a lot of their money, and I can show you guys right here. Went all the way up somewhere 400, and then it went down to 100 or something, 120. A lot of people had to wait another 4 years just to recoup their investment. So one thing I highly suggest is be patient with your buying. Like, you don't need to rush into your buying just because you're going to miss an opportunity. You're not going to miss an opportunity. There's plenty of opportunities in the market. But if you lose your capital, then you lose all opportunities, because you can't buy anything with no capital unless you borrow it. But that's even worse, because if you lose that money, then you're even more screwed. So when buying, I think number one is patience, just with anything else in life. Be patient, like with Oscar. For some reason, when I made the video at 20, people bought at 20. I don't know if you remember that video. I said, I think it's going to have more drops, just like I told you guys right now. And it did. Went down to here, scooped up a bunch of shares. And I think that's what you should do, is just be patient. Have 5 to 6, 7 stocks that you're looking at daily. See if they have any drops. Dollar cost average as it goes down. You don't need to just throw in $10,000 right at $18, right? Throw $2,000, then it goes to 16. Throw another 2,000, 14, more money. Like, you don't need to just throw everything in at once, especially if you're new. Build your intuition as it goes down or as it goes up. Why is it going up? What's the perception? What's the company? How's the company doing? So there's a bunch of different factors that you kind of have to look into, but don't look at more than, I would say, like 5 to 10. I've spoke to a lot of people on phone calls, or now that we work with, they have like 40 stocks in their portfolio and then like 20 different crypto holdings. And I'm like, your brain can't, we're not BlackRock, where they hold 5,000 stocks and they have 100,000 employees that can, cater to all of that. You have one brain, right? So you need to focus in on 5 to 10 stocks. In my personal opinion, if you're holding long term, keep the noise out. Get rid of people that will fearmonger the fuck out of you, that will just talk about what if this happens, what if that happens. Because even if consciously you brush it off, subconsciously you're going to act on it. Like, subconsciously, whether you like it or not, you probably will act on it, whether that's 3 months from now or 4 or 5 months from now. So try and keep that out of your brain as much as possible. And that's what most big traders will tell you, the same thing. Is like, try and really have tunnel vision with the 5 to 10 stocks that you hold, and don't worry about the other ones. So that's that. Thank you for watching today's video. If you guys have any other things you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys for the next one. Peace.